going. Why aren't you ready?
Ready for what?
Mrs. Whitney's coming down. You have to drive her to the bank.
Bank? Are you joking?
Of course not. She needs money.
Why didn't you offer to cash a check for her? You know we can't take a chance like that.
It's her decision. I had nothing to do with it.
If she goes into a public place, what's going to happen? She might meet someone she knows.
If you want to argue, argue with her. All I know is she said to wake her up early so she can go to the bank.
So you knew about this last night. Why didn't you tell me then, Nora?
Well, you got in too late. I didn't want to wait up for you.
I was home by 10 o'clock.
I went to bed early.
What's going on here, Nora? You up to something?
Don't be ridiculous.
Spencer, are you ready?
See?
In one moment, Mrs. Whitney.
No, hurry up.
Yes, ma'am. I'll get the car right now.
How do I look? You think I'll be recognized?
No, I don't think so.
I thought I would go to the bank early so that there won't be as many people around.
Good.
I can't believe that I am jumping bail.
Oh, I'll get that. Hello. Oh, Mrs. Saxon.
Nora, my early flight was earlier than I thought. We were almost an hour ahead of schedule.
Yes, I realize that.
Is it still convenient for Spencer to pick me up?
Well, I'm not too sure. One moment, please. She's at the airport. She got here early.
Oh, God, just what we need, more complications.
This is not the time for Mrs. Saxon, especially with the arrangements we have to make.
I don't know what to do. Come on, think of something.
Yes, Mrs. Saxon. Spencer will be there just as soon as he can.
Nora, what are you doing?
Gate 5, yes. Yeah, I've got that. He'll be there in about half an hour. Bye-bye.
Are you crazy? Spencer has to take me to the bank. Mr. Frobish is waiting.
I'll take you to the bank. It'll be better anyway. You might not be recognized, but your car and driver might.
Well, I understand that, but I don't understand this thing about Geraldine.
The car's ready, Mrs. Whitney.
There has been a change of plans, Spencer.
Then you're not going to the bank.
I have to go to the bank.
I'll take her to the bank. You get to the airport as soon as you can and pick up Mrs. Saxon.
But her plane isn't due to arrive yet.
Well, it was early. But listen, you cannot bring her here.
What do you mean?
Well, tell her the house is being painted.
Brilliant. She hates the smell of paint. She's always complaining that it makes her eyes water.
Where should I take her?
Well, take her to a hotel, of course, Monticello Arms. You leave, I'll call and make the reservation.
You approve, Mrs. Whitney?
Yes, I approve. Now go on, go.
You know, the funny thing about my memory is that some things I remember so clearly, and others are so foggy.
Just think of those things relating to that friend of yours, Jefferson Brown. You said something about a street fight.
Yes, that was on the night that we met in Zurich. He was in an alley, and apparently he was getting mugged by a couple of men. I was coming home from a party, and I had a young Fräulein with me. And I decided to be something of a hero.
And did you?
Well, no, not exactly. As a matter of fact, I was knocked unconscious a few moments after I joined the fray.
Oh, dear.
So I came to in Jeff's room. He was putting a compress on my head. I asked him what it was all about. He replied in a very mysterious fashion. He started mentioning things like espionage and international intrigue, spies.
He was just trying to sound interesting.
Yeah, well, of course, I didn't believe a word of it, but I did find it amusing that someone would even talk like that, and there were not very many amusing people in Switzerland that year. I was bored to tears.
And Jefferson Brown wasn't boring?
No, he wasn't boring. He was dirt poor, though. I could tell that from the hotel room he lived in.
What did he look like, physically?
Like me, quite a bit. I mean, he was the same height, same weight. As near as I could tell, he was about the same age. We had very similar coloring.
You can be sure that Jefferson Brown noted that resemblance.
Well, if you're referring to this imposter idea, I doubt that it occurred to him back then. I mean, I don't think that that occurred to him until later on, perhaps even until after the plane crash.
No, I don't believe that, Skye. Something like this takes planning. He saw that resemblance, and wondered how he could use it to his advantage.
Anyway, the one big difference between the two of us was that I was rich and he was poor.
He must have had some money.
Well, he was able to scratch a living together somehow, but he was telling me about this big deal he was going to make. He was going to sell something and make an awful lot of money from it. The way he referred to it, it sounded as if it was going to be some kind of a shady deal, too.
Drugs, most likely.
No, I got the impression it was something more along the lines of, I don't know, jewels, gems, something like that. As it happened, though, this sale never came off and he was broke.
You must have been a godsend.
Yeah, well, I did lend him a few thousand francs. But instead of trying to pay me back, at least with money, he started following me around. He became a cross between a companion and a lackey. I didn't really mind all that much. See, I had been bumming around Europe for quite a while, alone, waiting until the time was right for me to come back to the States to get my inheritance.
Only you never did, because he claimed it first.
Yes, well, that's what I've got to prove now, isn't it?
Tell me, what did Valerie Bryson think of Jeff Brown?
Not much. Well, she didn't see him that much either.
Why not?
Well, because I made it very clear to him that she was mine.
I see.
He did date a girlfriend of hers, though. I don't think he liked her very much. No, he didn't. I didn't either, for that matter.
Valerie Bryson's girlfriend. So there was a fourth witness.
Fourth witness, what do you mean?
Valerie's friend. She also knew you both. Sky, she might be able to help us. If only we can find her.
This is the first time I've ever gotten up before Jody.
I know it. She's usually such an early bird. I guess it was because we stayed out so late at that party last night.
We got in at 1 o'clock. We've stayed out later than that.
Yeah, well, maybe she was just too excited to go to bed. It was kind of a dazzling evening, wasn't it?
She dazzled everybody, including some guy named Chad. Did you meet him?
No, I didn't. Who is he?
Don't ask me. I think he was just one of the guests. Although I think he had something to do with Grace Endicott. He said something about having one of his paintings in her art gallery.
Oh, he's an artist.
Yeah, he seemed rather young to be so accomplished. In fact, Jody said something about him just getting out of postgraduate school.
Oh, he was taken with Jody, was he?
Yeah, well, I guess I can't blame him. She did look terrific, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Well, so did you, like it or not. You looked absolutely gorgeous in that tuxedo. You did.
Well, maybe I'll get a job as a waiter. That way I can wear one all the time.
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning.
Sorry, I overslept. Would Miles leave already?
Yeah, he left about an hour ago. Come on, sit down.
You look like you could use a cup of coffee.
Oh, yes, I could. I didn't sleep very well last night.
Yeah, we figured that. Too much party excitement.
No, actually, it was something that happened afterwards.
What?
Well, I didn't want to say anything about it last night because I didn't want to spoil the evening.
Come on, what was it?
Well, do you remember when we were leaving and I went to get my purse?
I remember.
When I did, I saw somebody that startled me.
Chad?
No, it wasn't Chad. It was somebody I hadn't noticed before.
Well, who was it?
I don't know. I don't know his name. I mean, he wasn't a guest. He was a servant. Look, I could swear it was the same man I saw in Springfield.
What?
Well, I know it sounds crazy, but he looked exactly like the man I saw coming out of my mother's room the day that she died.
Well, that sounds impossible, Jody. What would one of Endicott's servants be doing there?
Oh, honey, it was probably somebody who just looked like him.
Well, that's what I kept trying to tell myself, that I was so preoccupied with this man's face, I'm putting it on other people.
Yeah, and you said he also wore dark glasses, and that could make a difference.
I know, but the resemblance was so great that when I saw him, I actually said, "It's you."
How did he react to that?
Oh, he just looked as surprised as I was, and then Grace Endicott called him and he was gone.
Well, I suppose it's possible it could be the same man. After all, servants have private lives, too.
I think it's very doubtful, Jody.
Oh, I know. It just kept me awake all night thinking about it.
Well, would it be any help if I spoke to the Endicotts about him? I'm sure I'll see one or the other of them.
Well, actually, I'm supposed to see them today. I promised to take the painting over to the art gallery.
Oh, well, then you'll see him before I do.
I'm gonna go with you, you know.
You will?
Sure, that way we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We can have them look at the painting, and then we can ask them about their servant and find out if he was out of town the night your mother died.
It's just as I thought, Mrs. Whitney. It's going to take at least 24 hours to arrange this.
24 hours? That's ridiculous.
But I don't think you have any idea of the magnitude of what you're asking the bank to do. I mean, do you realize how much you have in liquid assets?
No, I don't, but it's mine. I can do what I want with it,
Yes,
can't I?
yes. I'm not questioning that, but well, just look at these figures.
It's almost $20 million.
Yeah. I don't know why your husband wanted to keep so much money in cash, but he did.
Well, then why can't I have it?
Because it would take a great deal of time simply to count it out, to verify it. Now, really, Mrs. Whitney, why don't you take the funds in coupon bonds?
No, I don't want paper.
Well, cash is paper, too, and the bonds would be as negotiable as money. There is only one risk. Anyone can use them. I mean, they're also called bearer bonds, which mean anyone bearing them can turn them into cash.
Well, how long would it take to get these bonds?
Well, with any luck, I can have them ready for you by closing time this afternoon.
Does that mean I'd have to come back here and get them?
Now, if you'd like, I could send them via bonded messenger to your home. In fact, I would prefer it that way for your own protection.
Well, that's all right, but I am going to need a little bit of cash, about $100 grand.
Yes, well, I'm sure we can arrange that.
Well, wonderful. Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Well, my pleasure, Mrs. Whitney.
And remember what I said about just keeping it between you and me?
Well, other people will know the transaction took place. I mean, bank people, I mean.
Yeah, well, that can't be helped. And in case you were wondering why I needed all the money, it's for my attorneys.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
see.
$20 million in legal fees? What could a lawyer possibly be doing for her that would cost $20 million?
Ah, Spencer. How nice of you to come out and meet me.
Hello, Mrs. Saxon. I'm sorry if I kept you waiting.
No, I didn't realize I would be so early. Frankly, it's probably just as well. I'm a bit tired. And I'm very anxious to be in my own home again.
There's something I should tell you, Mrs. Saxon.
What's that?
Well, since Mrs. Whitney didn't expect you for quite some time, she thought it would be a good opportunity to do some work in the house.
Raven? Work?
Well, what I mean is she has hired some house painters, and they're repainting the upstairs bedrooms, including yours, of course.
Well, for heaven's sake. Raven never before took very much interest in domestic details. What's happening to her?
I really don't know, ma'am.
Well, never mind. I suppose it's just as well that she is occupied redecorating the house. The only thing is, I have a strong allergy to house paint.
Yes, Mrs. Whitney realized that, and she's made arrangements for you to spend a night or two at the Monticello Arms.
Well, that was very thoughtful of her. In any case, I don't have much choice, do I, Spencer?
I want him kept on the same medication for the next 24 hours. He will probably ask you for more. You just ignore him, all right?
Sure. How you doing, Doc?
How are you?
How's the patient?
Well, he's doing a lot of moaning and groaning. He would have made a great living as a professional wrestler. He's a real. He just wants to know about them. Witnesses to the so-called beating that you...
Yes, there was one. Eddie Lorimer's.
Lorimer's.
Well, it was no coincidence. Well, I wanted to get some information about Eddie's out. I'd invite this lady for a romantic. Backfired. She's cleverer than I was. Part of the frame-up. Part of it.
Told him where we were going to dinner, and then he sent Sammy after me to provoke a fight.
So, if she's...
Oh, she's not going to be on my side, Miles, that's for sure. In fact, she's going to testify that I dragged Sammy into an alley and beat him half to
now,
death.
look, the people at the hearing are going to know her connection to law.
But that's not going to be enough to override a testimony.
Maybe we can be clever, too, and figure out a way to get them to admit the truth.
Oh, great. Look who's here.
Oh, well, Detective Tyler. What are you doing at the hospital? Come for your distemper shot?
Yeah, I had to get one after associating with your pals, Eddie.
That's cute. Are you the boy's doctor?
That's right, Dr. Kavanaugh.
Hi, I'm Eddie Lorimer. I just took a look at that kid. He's in pretty bad shape, and I hope you're going to be able to do something for him.
We will do everything we can.
Well, I want him to have the very best. You see, he works for my company, and I take good care of my people.
You sure do, Eddie.
Now, money's no object. I don't care what it costs. I'll take care of it. You understand that?
Yeah, I understand. But there's one thing about this case that
What's that?
Well, from the examinations we've made, we've been able to observe that his injuries have been healing at different rates of speed.
So what does that mean?
Well, it's just that it could mean that his injuries were sustained at 2 different times.
What are you, bananas or what?
No. Well, it's possible for a man to get beaten up twice, isn't it?
Hey, look, I'd be a little more careful when you open that little black bag. I think the fumes from those drugs are getting to your brain. I gotta go. I'll see you.
Hey, Miles, is it really possible to do that?
No, but there's no harm in letting him think so.
Hey, what's this? I thought you were going to spend the morning in bed.
Oh, well, no, I couldn't. This bed is made for 2 people.
Well, in that case, the heck with shopping.
Oh, no. Now, wait a minute. You said you were going to ride on that trusty bicycle of yours into town.
I just wanted to get a newspaper, that's all.
Yes, and maybe also to make a phone call?
We have a phone here.
Oh, I know we have a phone. It's just that, I think that you hate to make calls in front of your bride.
What are you insinuating, that you have married the sneaky type?
No. As a matter of fact, just the opposite. I think that by some dumb stroke of luck, I have married the most wonderful man in the world.
Now I know I'm not going into town. You know, I used to think so many other things were important. My career and my money. Making all the right decisions about things. Politics and friends and even picking the right tie. But I know that I've got one thing that's more important than anything else.
Yes, I know. Breakfast.
All right, go on, make
You
it
love
fun.
breakfast.
Make it fun. But I'm being serious. I'm very seriously in love.
Well, I hope you are. And, you know, I also think that you're very seriously worried about Damian. Come on. It's true, isn't it? I mean, you would like to be there. You feel awful about it. Admit it.
I do wish I could help him, yeah.
Well, look, when is that hearing scheduled?
A couple of days.
I mean, I've been thinking. Maybe it's a good idea if we go home in a couple of days.
You don't think that.
No, yes, I do. I do. I mean, I've enjoyed this honeymoon. But I don't want it to be too long. I want to have some married life. I mean, I want to have married life. This isn't it. This is all newlywed stuff.
Well, what's wrong with newlywed stuff?
Nothing. Nothing at all. But I do want the real married life. I want to be there when you come home. So I can say, how was your day?
Sweetheart, I don't want a day that doesn't involve you.
Well, that's just tension. I was so nervous in that bank.
I hope no one recognized me. I didn't even dare turn around and look.
No, I don't think anybody was really paying any attention.
Thank heavens Mr. Frobish thought of those negotiable bonds.
Yes, that was very sensible.
And now all we have to do is wait till the messenger comes.
I think you should rest meanwhile. It's going to be a long, hard day.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't even want to have to think about the next step. Oh, by the way, Nora, I just want to say that you've been wonderful.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Whitney.
I really couldn't have done it without you, and I'll never forget it.
No, you never will.
is that you?
Yes, it is. Who's this?
It's Geraldine Saxon, dear. I'm sorry to be disturbing you at home.
Geraldine, that's all right. I didn't even know you were back yet.
Yes, I came back only to read in the newspaper that you have been suspended from the police force. Is that really true?
Yeah, it seems like I'm a very brutal type. I didn't know it myself until I read it in the paper today.
There's nothing about that in the paper.
Well, Nancy Carr wrote the article. I guess she just was kind enough to reserve judgment.
Damian, I'm terribly sorry this has happened. I'd like to hear more about it. Is there a chance that I can see you anytime soon?
Sure, my time is very flexible. As a matter of fact, I'd like to talk to you very much. Are you at home?
No, I'm at the Monticello Arms. Raven is having the house painted.
Oh, you mean in her absence?
No, not in her absence. She's here. I talked to her last evening.
What? Hey, that can't be possible. Her servants told me she was on a cruise somewhere.
My dear boy, I can assure you, definitely, Raven is here.
Well, then somebody was lying to me.